everybody, and welcome to the StellaLuna Podcast. My name is Jackson, and I am your hostess with the mostest here. I am an indie dyer here in Chattanooga. I have my hand-dyed yarn company, Stella Luna Fiber Co. And this is my crafty podcast where I primarily talk about knitting and sometimes some sewing and sometimes some stitching of various varieties. I will have a little bit of sewing and stitching to show this week. Trying to be good about actually podcasting every week, and so far I haven't been too shabby. I do not have any completed objects this week, so to dive right in, I have a half-finished object. Ain't she cute? This is just some plain old vanilla socks. This is my Cabin in the Woods colorway from my summer camp collection this year, and the coordinating mini is called Free Swim. We love it. It's beautiful. I am very happy to have this sock done. I have not cast on the second sock. The plan is to get all of the first socks done of my current sock whips and then have kind of a second sock cast on party. Oh, hi Stewie. She is about to hit my tripod. Oh, you want butt scratches? Oh, dick a booty squitch. Oh, dick a booty squitch. You cannot see her, but she, like, when you scratch her back, she like arches up like a cat. Anywho, so this one is, ooh, that's a lot of, you're shedding, yeah. This is our only half finished object. Love it. I do have my other sock done, which I showed this on the last episode, but these are my dad's socks. These are still in the same condition of first socks are done, second socks have not been casted on, but just figured I would put that there. The last sock that I am trying to get the first sock done before casting on second socks are the vanilla socks I am knitting for my brother-in-law. Try and get the lighting. It is very overcast here today, and we had a downpour not that long ago. But this is, here we go. At least it's focusing on the sock a little bit more. There we go. A bit. This is my Anime Yarn Club Moon Prism Power sock set. This is inspired by Sailor Moon. I almost had a brain fart there. This is my Sailor Moon inspired color from month 1 of the Anime Yarn Club. Very cute. We're coming along nicely. I am about 50 rows into the foot. I'm probably gonna do about 75 and then do my toe decreases. So we're coming along quite nicely. We're getting there. I will hopefully have the first sock done this weekend, which I didn't say, but today is Friday, August 11th. So fingers crossed I will have the first sock of that one done this weekend and can cast on second socks. I'll start with my smaller shawl thing to show. Next up, I have my A Girl's Best Friend shawl. This is a pattern by Helen Stewart. No, not Helen Stewart, Isabell Kraemer. I'm getting my two kind of shawly patterns mixed up in my head. This is by Isabell Kraemer, A Girl's Best Friend. I am knitting this out of Stella Luna Fiber Co. in Divination. The dark purple right here is called Familiar, and then this is Grimoire. I believe the last time I showed this, I had one more repeat to do of this teardrop pattern here, and we are now done, and I am currently working on a separating just straight stockinette section between this particular teardrop section and the larger teardrop section. So coming along quite nicely, and yeah, she's looking cute. She is bunched up on a very short cable, so it's hard to really see her in all of her glory, but this shawl's getting quite big. And I have knit this before. I know I've mentioned probably when I first started this last year, and probably haven't mentioned it since, but I did screw up a little bit. So down here you will notice that there is a girder ridge at the bottom of this textured section. I did not realize that that was in the pattern for the first 4 sections, and then started adding it, and then had to do a extra 7 row. I basically had to repeat this top section where it's just stockinette again down here with a garter ridge to make sure that I had the right counts for everything. So it's not perfect, but that's okay. Since that's going to be up by my neck, I'm not super concerned about that being super visible. But that is coming along nicely. This is also in my BFL sock, which is one of my favorite sock bases. It's just really nice. It has kind of like a more rustic texture to it, like when you touch it, without being rough, if that makes any sense. They make really great socks, I'm not gonna lie. Some of my favorite socks are knit out of my BFL sock base, and I'm excited to have a shawl out of it. I've got this in a cute little By the Bay Bag Co. bag. And then last in the knitting department is my Habitation throw. We are finally, I think I was just shy last episode, we are finally on the decrease sections. So I think where my stitch marker is where I was last episode, and we finally got up here to the first color of decreases. So you can see decreases are beginning to happen right here. That's where they start. So she's looking beautiful. She's quite big. I have all of the colorways listed on my Ravelry project page and what order they came in originally, and then what order I reorganized them into. And that will all be linked down below. I'll have either my link tree or my Ravelry link down there. Either way, all of that information, my link tree will take you to my Ravelry anyways. All of that kind of stuff will be down below. But this is the Habitation throw by Helen Stewart. It's from her 2019 knit bent. I've talked about this a ton since I picked this project back up. But that concludes the knitting. Not a ton of knitting, but I have been busy. There was like an emergency kind of we need yarn ASAP from the Chattanooga Yarn Company for Hunker Downer, which is an exclusive colorway there, and right now is the Great Tennessee Yarn Crawl, and they were not expecting as much of it to sell as it did, so had to fulfill a last minute emergency order last weekend and was delivering it over the course of 2 days because I was waiting for yarn to dry because it's been raining a ton this week on Monday and Tuesday. So not as much knitting has happened and not as much sewing and other stuff has happened just because this week's been busy. But I have done 2 more of the blocks for my Card Trick Witchcraft quilt. It's a pattern, the quilt pattern is by Myra Barnes, and the fabric is from Craftsy. It was a quilt kit years and years ago with Lily and Loom witchcraft fabric. Super cute. I really like it, but I just haven't had a chance to really sit down and sew this week. So fingers crossed more happens this weekend, but we'll see. I have done a good bit of stitching. So I am hosting I call it knit group on Sundays just because it rolls off the tongue a little bit easier, but it's kind of more of a making group, or I would like it to be a making group. and it's Sunday afternoons 2 to 4, and we meet at Monkeytown Brewing in like just off of Ashland Terrace, so not the one up in Dayton. And I brought some stitching with me to work on while sitting there, and it may not look like a lot, but I did do more here along the bottom edge just to spend a little bit of time working on this and chatting with people. So I think that's all I did. And then I was knitting, you know, but I just wanted to work on that a little bit on Sunday, so that only happened on Sunday. And then if I get a chance to sit in front of my computer and do any podcast watching, I have been stitching. I haven't done a ton, but I believe last episode I had only gotten a little bit done up here on the top of the roof line, and I think I was only at like 2 or 3 rows across, and we have gone and done 5 rows across on the top and started the roof peak here on just the one side. So that's all we've done, but it's looking quite lovely. I'm really happy with it. I kind of am enjoying the fill stitches just because it's a little bit more mindless and I kind of know where I'm going with it. You know, I don't have to pay super close attention to the pattern, which, speaking of the pattern, I am doing the ABC sampler from Cottage and Needleworks. So you can see we're just doing the house right now. And I'm using all called for colors, and I am stitching this on some 35 count linen, Olde New England, from the Primitive Hare. Probably getting a little boring, me repeating that every week, but oh well. So that is that one. There's more. Because I have been working on my ABC sampler, that got me interested in picking up some of my other starts, or I say starts, stuff that I had started previously but not made a ton of progress on. So around Christmas time, 2 years ago, I started this Cottage Needleworks in the Meadow one with the little snowman. I think it's really cute, and I have no idea what fabric I'm doing this on. I think I'm using called for linen, like in terms of it being like 30 count, but I'm not sure. Don't hold me to it. But I had this little bit of the border done and a couple of the snowflakes done, and then I started doing the words when I picked this up. So one night I did in, and then the other night I did the T and the H for the, and then I'll probably sit down and get the Meadow part done, finish up the E and do Meadow, and just kind of break it up like that. Do little bits here and there. And again, I'm using called for floss, and I believe 30 count linen. I didn't like the green linen that's in the example photo, but so this is just some gray that I got from Michael's or Joann's or something. Don't remember where I got it from. I got it a while ago. And then my this is like my longest languishing cross stitch whip, and this is the Little House Needleworks Gingerbread Trio. So I started this when Brandon and I were still living in the apartment, so it's been a while. And where I had last gotten to, everything was done except for the little bit of stitching below that gingerbread's arms. Everything else is finished. And I am using called for colorways. I did add in, I don't know if it'll really show, but that's a sparkle DMC. I just happen to have it, and I threw in, I made these 2 heart sparkle, and then I'm making one of the little holly berries that is carried between the gingerbread. You see it here, sparkle red, but that's the only difference. Everything else is called for. So this is coming along quite nicely, and maybe I'll have this done this year, but I still have to finish up this gingerbread, do the little connector, put in, I think it's, yeah, I still have to do the writing for nutmeg and do the bottom holly border. But I think it will be easier than how the top border was. So other than that, everything is called for, and this is on 30 count linen. Sandstone is what the color is called. It's very warm and nice. I like it. And that's it for my stitching and everything. I have a lot of like daydreamy knits, which I will probably cover now. So let me go grab yarn. I am at a point now where I'm like itching to cast on a garment, and but I need to finish obviously some more work on my socks, so that way then I can get the gift socks done and out of the way and sent to the people who they are for. But I'm planning. I've been doing a lot of yarn planning, and I'm going to share a couple of the projects that I can, not all of the projects, because some of them are projects that I have planned with some colorways that have not been released yet. But to kind of start out, first on the dream knitting list is to do an Ingrid slipover by Petite Knit. And this is my swatch. I swatched. I really like how the Ingrid slipover looks in Petite Knit's pattern photos. It's like a beautiful charcoal, kind of blacky gray. It's a little bit softer than a true black, but it's really pretty. And so I kind of wanted to do something similar. And I think I look really good in grays. I'm kind of a cool neutral tone for the most part. So we did a swatch, and I also ideally wanted to use up some of my stash yarn and also knit with my own yarn. So what I decided to do is I had a sweater's quantities worth of berry tweed from Woolbery Fiber Co in her smoke colorway. And I had a bunch of tweed sitting in that was like undyed for StellaLuna Fiber Co. And I was like, you know what? I am going to hold Woolbery Fiber Co.'s smoke color with my charcoal color and dye up some Surrey alpaca and do that also in my charcoal color. So we have like this really nice, this is all, so both of the fingering weights are tweed bases. The rest of my yarn's downstairs because I need to kick it up. So I'm just showing the swatch, but you can in person see the neps, but it's really soft with the Surrey alpaca. And I really love my Surrey cloud base, so I'm very excited to work with this. And I knit this swatch up last night and I love it. It's so soft and clears out some of my stash while also using my own yarn. So that makes me really happy. But that is plan number 1, is to do the Ingrid slipover. I'm so excited. And I think that it'll be really wearable. It does not get super cold here in Chattanooga until kind of late. So the time that other people get to wear like sweaters and stuff like that, it's usually still pretty warm here. So like it could still be pretty hot in November and December, and it'll be cold like January and February, but then it's like you know, I want to wear hand knits more frequently. So I think the slip over is kind of like a nice layering piece that will, I'll be able to wear a little bit longer during more transitional weather here, since it lasts forever. I'm gonna kind of go in color family order. You'll be able to tell I have some designers that I like. I've done a couple of petite knit patterns. I have the Ingrid pullover or slip over planned, and I also have the October sweater planned. This is like the October sweater is like a really simple and beautiful looking oversized sweater with a split hem detail, and it's a little bit longer lined, a little bit more tunic like, and I really like how it looks. And so I have some, this is Explorer Knits fiber in the Great Smoky Mountains colorway, and excuse me. And then I have my Surrey Cloud Base in Frost as what I will be holding double. I have a swatch around here somewhere, but I could not find it. But this will be DK. This is more of a worsted weight swatch, but this is like more of a DK weight. And my swatch is also on gauge, so I'm using called for needles for those patterns. But so I've got hopefully enough of the Explorer Knits color. That is my only concern, is that I don't have enough of this color to finish it being as long as I want it. Because I had puppies. Our trash people are here, and they aren't even at our house yet. Anyways, I had bought the Smoky Mountains National Park colorway prior to having a pattern in mind. All right, let's see if we can finish it up before the trash people come back around to our house. And then I would also really like to do a Keats hat by Sari Nordland. It's like a really beautiful textured kind of cable-y looking hat, and I really want to knit it out of my up and coming fall collection, which is Outlander inspired. I'm really excited. I have so many projects in mind for this. I'm calling it the Into the Highlands collection right now. I have not decided if that's officially going to be the name, but it'll be, right now the tentative title is Into the Highlands collection, an Outlander inspired, or Into the Highlands, an Outlander inspired collection. But this other color is Mist on the Henge, and it is gorgeous, and I think it'll make for a really pretty hat. I haven't knit a hat in a really long time, so I'm kind of excited. And then, kind of in the same Sari Nordland camp, I want to make her Soul Sister scarf. I pulled two stash yarns. First up, we have some Hey Sister Yarn Co. Let's see, there we go. Hey Sister Yarn Co. in the Squishy DK base. And this is their gilded colorway. They are not dyeing anymore. So this is like deep stash, but this is like a really nice, really soft DK weight yarn. And I think that would be a really pretty one. I've also like looked at all of the yarn that I pulled for these projects I've been talking about. And I think all of the colors look really pretty together. Like I have like kind of a cool themed one and a more warm themed one. And then this is some Woolbery Fiber Co. I used to be a part of the Woolbery Fiber Co. collective, and this was the O2 Summer collective colorway, and I got it on Berry Sock and her Surrey base, and it's just really pretty. And I think that that will be a really pretty Soul Sister scarf. I might try and convince my sister to knit one too, because she likes those little small scarves, and it's like super textured, and it has like this big fluffy like braided knit stitch pattern to it. I don't know how to describe it, but the other thing I want to knit is a cardigan. I have not decided on a pattern yet. There was a petite knit pattern that she showed a couple days ago that I really liked on her Instagram, but it's not a release pattern yet. And well, it might be now, but I am unsure because she made it sound like it was being released this week, but I don't know if that was more like, it was one of her posts where it's all in Danish. And so I clicked the C translation button, and I was not 100% clear. The translation wasn't perfect, so it was unclear if it was more like going to be released for a tester call or if it's like actually going to be released on Ravelry. But I do know I want a cardigan out of my pumpernickel colorway, because this is a really beautiful kind of cool toned brown. Like, I say cool tone, it's more like gray muted, if that makes any sense. Like, there's an element to it that's not like overly warm, and I just think it would make for a really beautiful cardigan with like wooden buttons and stuff. This is just an example skein. Since I don't have a pattern in mind, this is just my pumpernickel skein that I have for product photography. But I'm also like, I've got my eye on something like out of thicker yarn. Like, the idea is to knit something out of thicker yarn so I can get it done faster. So we'll see. But I think all three of these look really pretty together, kind of my warmer toned colors. And then can't see the color I pulled for the Keats hat, but like these look really pretty together. And then I have another project on the needles knit out of this Outlander collection colorway too that looks really pretty with these colors. So there's like color family coordination happening. Feels very capsule wardrobe and not my normal way of planning projects, but I'm very excited. So that kind of concludes this episode, and all of my dream knitting and all of my current works in progress. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will hopefully see you next week. And everything that you need to know information-wise will be linked down below. Bye!